Welcome to One-Stop Java Solutions. I am Snehasis and today I am going to explain you TCS Proctored assessment of 11th December. Okay. So this assessment is regarding item management. Okay. So before moving forward, first read the assessment carefully and try to understand what you have to do. So here you can see that the assessment is create a class item with the below attributes. Okay. There is 5 attributes. Okay, and the above attributes should be private, getter and setter and parameterized constructor as required. You have to define. Okay, so basically this is the OOP concept. Okay, in object oriented programming, we generally what we do that we declare the attribute of a class as a private. Okay, so this is basically the data encapsulation. Okay, so that means you are hiding this attribute from outside of the world. Okay, so if you want to access those from outside of this class, then you have to use this getter and setter methods. Okay, and constructor, while you are creating the object of that constructor, using the constructor you can create the object. Okay, and you can directly assign the values to this attribute. Okay, that I will show you how to design. Then create a class solution with the main method. So this is the but that you have to create two class. One is the item class, okay, and another is the solution class. And as the solution class will contain the main method, so what we will do, we will make the solution class as public and save the total java code as a solution.java. Okay, so this is because this is also the concept of oops, that whatever your main means, which class will contain the main method, the program name should be same as with that means class. Okay, so to design this, I am going to Eclipse, and here you can see you already have YouTube demo. So here if you go inside this src, you can see that different package are there. So here what I am doing, first I am going to this src and creating one package. Okay, so here you can see that package option is there, just click on it. Okay, and then give the package name. Okay, so I am giving the package name as TCS OPA online proctored assessment, TCS OPA, and it's 11th December, so I am giving the name like that, 11th December. You see, you can click on finish. So package will be created, and after that create a class and give the name as solution and make the class as public. Okay, so create a class and give the name as solution. So here it's solution or solutions, just check it. So here it's solution, so copy it from here and paste. So it's a solution class. Okay, and click on finish, and here you can see that okay, main method is not created. So inside that, as this method will contain the main method, so here just define that public static void main string args string. So this is the basically the signature of the main method. Okay, this is called the signature of the main method, public static void main string also this is the signature of the main method, and in another video I already described what does mean everything. So if you don't know what is the meaning of the full signature of main method, then just go to my channel and the One-Stop Java Solution channel, and you can see there is the this video is already uploaded. Okay, so you can watch and see what does the main of this signature, main method signature. Okay, then next this is one class, and another class I will define. Here I am just writing class. So I already have created one public class, so this class I am just keep it as default. So public only class, and the class name is item. Class name is item, and inside this class you can see here that this class will contain this variable. Okay, so these are the variable names, so just copy from here, and here I declare those variables, and this, as I mentioned, that this class will means this variable will be private. Okay, so this is basically the oops concept, that we keep we will make the attribute as a private, so that from outside of this class you cannot directly access this variable. Okay, so that is basically called the encapsulation inside the class. Okay, so if you try to, sorry, if you try to access these outside of this class, then you have to use either setter or getter methods, or any methods. Using any methods you can access this. Okay, so that method also I will define here. So this is the these five, one, two, three, four. It is four. It was okay. Only four variables is there. Okay, fine. So this is done. Now this attribute you also required in inside this class under main method. So I'm just copying it, and here I am. So here you just paste this variable. I'm telling you why it is required, because you have to, from the main method you have to means read the values from the console. Okay, and store in a variable. So that's why I am giving the same name. Okay, because these are the two of different class, so I am giving the same name so that you can relate the variable, or you can change the name as well, no problem. But I am give the same name so that you can relate which variable is, means the same name, so that you can means I identify the which value is stored in which variable. Okay, particular variable. Now here you have to means declare this as a private. So this is the all the variables should be private, so just keep private, give here private. Okay. Okay, now what I will do, I will just write the setter and getter methods of them for this attribute. Okay, so for that I am using this id eclipse. So here inside this id you have a source option. Here you can see that the source option, and if you expand it, you can see here that generate setter and getters method. Okay, generate setter and getters, just click on it, and select all attributes, and these should be public access modifier. You can define as a protected, package, private, final, synchronized. These also you can use. So I am just access modifier, I am selecting the public. Others, protected, package, and private, you also can select, but I am giving the name as public, so that from outside of this class I can access this easily. So click on ok. So here you can see that the setter and getter methods is already created. Okay, so the implementation of this methods done by the IDE, so you don't worry about that. Here you can see that it is a means very simple code. So while you are setting any value, so this is the method name set. Suppose item type is your attribute name. So public void, you can see that the while you are setting, so set item type, and to set it is a string, so you have to pass a string type values. Okay, and we are using it also using the same variable name item type. Okay, so both are item type are the same, so whatever you are passing, that also item type, and here you can see your attribute, that is also item type. Okay, here you can see it's also item type. So why then what we will do, this dot item type. So this is a keyword, so this keyword is referring to the current object. Okay, so while you are calling this method from using means you always have to create an object, and using that object only you can access or call this variable, call this method. Okay, so that, so what object means using what object you are calling this method, so that object, this keyword is referring to that object reference. Okay, so that object, and this item id is the attribute, your attribute, whatever you mentioned in the class. Okay, so how many object you will create, those object also get this attribute, this four attribute. Okay, so um, this keyword is referring to the current object, and this item type is referring to this. Okay, string item type, whatever value you are passing. Okay, so this is the style to write the setter method, and for getter method only you just return the price. Here you can see that the get item type. So while you are means outside of this class, if you call this method, so this method will return the values of this item type. So this item type is referring to that attribute of this item type of this class. Okay, and it is a string, so we are returning the string. Here as a return type we are using the string. If it is a double, then you here we as a return type we are using double, like that. Okay, so this is very simple. And then the constructor. So for constructor also you can write your own way, but here if you just right click and go to source, and then here you can see that generate constructor using field. So just click on it and use all the fields here and click on OK. So here you can see constructor also very simple. It's a public item. So for constructor you have to remember that there should be no return type. Okay, for method if it's not returning anything, then you have to write the void, but for constructor there should be no return type, not even void. Okay, then all the list of parameters, okay, that you want to pass while you are creating the object. So here I have a 4 variable, 4 attributes, and I want to set all the attributes value at the time of object creation. So that's why I taken all the attribute as a parameter. Okay, and here what I am doing, this dot item id. Okay, this super is the means it's calling the super class constructor if you have, but here we don't have the concept of any super class because we are not using the inheritance. So this you can also omit, no problem. And here this dot item id, this item id is referring to the current object reference. Okay, so this and this item id is refer to this attribute, and this item id is the whatever value you are passing as here as the item id. Okay, so like this way you can define the constructor. And also make sure that constructor name and class name should be same. Here inside the item class I am writing means we are writing the constructor for item class. So here the class name is item, for item class name is item, so constructor name must be item. Okay, you cannot change any other, you cannot give any other name. Okay, so that's it. So item class design is done. So here you can see that in the assessment also it's written that in the above attributes should be private, so it's done. Right, getters and setter methods also done, and parameterize constructor, that also done. Then create a class solution with the main method, it's done. Then implements two static method. Okay, so inside this class solution you have to write two static method. So first one is this, so I am just writing. So here this is the main method, so after that I am writing on another method, public static void. Right now I am giving the return type as void. Later I will check what will be the return type and I will change accordingly. Okay, so this is the one method, and what parameter it will take, that I will give later. And another one also, public static, I am writing void currently, then I will change search item by name. Okay, so these are the two class that you have to define, and both are the static class. Okay, so for static class basically you don't need to create any object. If you try to means if you want to call this method anywhere, so you don't need to create object, you directly can call these methods. Okay, so that also I means I have in my channel you can see there is a topic that describe the static. Okay, this keyword I already described what is the means functionality of statics, so you can go there and watch that one also. Now inside this class, so you have to define means you have to implement these two class. So for the first class you can see this method will take two input parameters, array of okay two input parameters, array of item object. Okay, it's item, it's array of item object and string parameters. Okay, so item object, so basically okay, so before implementing this I am going first, I am implement the main method. Okay, so here you can see before calling this static method in main, use the scanner object to read the values from 4 object referring the attribute in the above main send sequence, okay, and attribute sequence, and next values of the two string parameters for capturing the item type and the item name respectively. Okay, so first implement the main method. So I have a class with four attributes. Now I want to read the values of these four attributes from the console. So for that, what I will use, I am using the scanner class. Okay, so I am defining a scanner class object scanner sc equal to new scanner, and this scanner class will take as a parameter system.in. Okay, so basically it's a system console, so system.in. so this is the input from input console. It will take the values, okay, and here you can see for using this you have to import the scanner class, okay, and scanner class is java.util package, so I am importing the java.util.scanner here. So here you can see import java.util.scanner. So if you import this, then you can use this class functionalities here, okay, and it will take the system as a input, so system.in. So okay, so this is as a parameter I am passing this, and now what I will do, I have to read the four means create I have to create the four set of item objects and store in an array. Okay, so for that, what I will do, basically I will create a array. Okay, so for that I will create a array of item. So item, and I am giving the name as item object, and then size will be 4, so new item, and I am defining the values as 4. Okay, so this is basically a item object is an array, okay, an array of item, or you can use that item array. Okay, so this is the relevant name basically. So item is a this is the array of item. Okay, so item is a class, so I have to create the four item object and store in this array basically. Okay, then what I will do, so creating the four object, so I am using a for loop for int I equal to 0, I less than 4, and I plus plus, and every iteration I require to read all the four values. Okay, so and store in this variable. So item id, first one is the item id, this is the integer, so item id equal to and using the scanner class we will read the item from console. So for that sc dot, so I already created the object of scanner class sc dot, so it is an integer, so I use the next int method. Okay, so next int, so this method I am using to read a integer value from the console and store in the item id. Then similarly the item name, I have to read the values of item name. So here item name equal to sc dot next, it is a string. Okay, so next line, so this method will use next line. Then the second one and third one is also the item type, that is also a string. So here also I am using the item type equal to sc dot next line. Okay, and then the next one is double item price. Okay, so item price, I am copying this one, item price equal to sc dot next double. Okay, so this is the fourth set of attribute I am reading, and after that I have to create one object of item. Okay, and I store that in item array. So item array I, so every index basically for I equal to 0 to 3, so every index position while I equal to 0, so index means item array 0, in 0th position I am storing the first object. So I am creating first object, and for that I am calling the item. Okay, and so creating the object you have to use the new operator, so new item, and then you have to provide these four attribute values you have to pass. Okay, so for that I am just pasting here And the sequence here, remember that sequence should be in the same sequence in which you have declared in the class, okay, in the constructor. So in the same sequence you have to pass. In the same sequence I am passing all the variables, so it will create one object and stored in the ith location. And like this way, 4 times this for loop will iterate 4 times, and at every iteration it will read all these values in set of values, then create an object and it will store in this variable. And here also keep in remember that after reading any integer value, if you try to read any string value, so just here you use this line, otherwise you will get the erroneous result. Okay, so st dot next line, just use here once after reading any integer values. If you try to read the string values, then you have to use this line once more time. So this is done. And after that you can see, after this for loop, here you can see that the before calling this object method attribute sequence, next read the values of the two string parameter to capturing the item type and item name. So these two you have to read once again, because these will pass as a parameter of these two methods what I will going to means declare. So here item name and item type, so just copy these two and look the sequence. Okay, so sequence here it is important. Basically the first is the static method in the scanner, read the values from here, attribute name and string parameter, capturing the item type and item name. First item type, then item name. So item type, this should be goes to first, this line should be here. So just write here before this line. Okay, so this is, and here also you can see next we first we read the double values, and after that we are again reading here last value we read the double. So this is basically the number. So after reading a number, if you try to read the string, so just use this line once again here. Okay, so this is done. So every values that you have to read from the console, so that part is done. Then what I will do, then I will implement these two methods. Okay, so to implement these two methods, so what I will do, I just use this this thing, that item array. So this will take as a parameter. So here I am giving the same name, so that it will be identical and to you can understand easily. Okay, so this is this method. If you can see that the find average item price, find average price by item. So this method, here you can see find average price by item method. This method will take two input parameters, array of the item object and the string parameters. Okay, and these string parameters is the item type. Okay, with the given item type. So here we are passing a string item type. So just copy from here. Okay, so just, so here you can see that string item type. Okay, so just copy it. Okay, so you have to copy all string item type. Okay, and paste here. So it is taking two parameters basically. Okay, one is the item array and another is the string item type. Okay, then this method what it will do, if you read this, the method will return the average item price of the item as int from the arrays of the item object for the given item type, the string parameter first. Okay, so if no item of the given item type is matched, basically present in the array of item object, then the method should return the return value as 0. Okay, so for that what we'll do here, it's very simple. So first I am taking one int average. Okay, so int average equal to 0. So I am just using one variable int average equal to 0. Then I have to means count how many time it's matched. Okay, so for that I am declaring int count equal to 0. And then I am using the total price, means suppose is more than one count is there, so you have to add all the price. Okay, so for that I am using double. For that I am using double total price. Okay, total price equal to 0. Okay, then so here this one average int average equal to 0, and this one you also can omit it. It is basically not required. If you want to ignore it, you can, or you can use this extra variable as well. So that's depend up to you. So if you want to reduce the variable number of variables, then you can ignore that also. We can directly do that. So now what I have to do, I have a array that size is 4. So for that so I have to iterate 4 times, and every times I will pick up one item object and check. Okay, so for int I equal to 0, int I equal to 0, then I less than 4 and I plus plus. Okay, so this for loop will iterate 4 times, and every iteration of this for loop, what I will check, if this item array, if this item array and the index is I. Okay, and dot I am picked up the item type. Okay, dot get item type. Here you can see that get item type, this method. So then this using this getter method, I picked up the values of the item type, and then I am using the equal ignore case. Okay, equal ignore case, basically what it will do means it is case insensitive. Okay, so suppose item type, suppose one item is sweet. Okay, so if s is capital, and if you pass s is as a capital and s is small, so it will not treat both as a different entities. Okay, so it is case insensitive, so it will take capital and small everything. Okay, so first I am checking if it is matched, then what I will do, I will increase the this total price. Okay, so sorry, so what I will do, I will add the total price values. Total price equal to this total price plus whatever the values of the total price I am adding with that. Okay, this total price to this item array dot get price. Okay, so I'm basically just adding dot get price. Okay, so whatever the items price is there, so I am just adding that value with the total price, and I am increasing the count plus plus, and now I have to return this count plus plus. Okay, so now means, so every iteration it will check how much, means how many item types is matched with the item object. Okay, and if it is matched, I am adding the price and increase the count values, and after this for loop, what I will check, if count greater than 0. Okay, so what I'm checking, if count greater than 0, that means we have to do the average. Okay, so if it's then return, then we are returning total, this total price. Okay, this total price by count, this total price by count, else 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 we will only returning. Okay, so here it's better that use this average, because here you can see that the return type of this method is the integer. Okay, so here you can see that take arrays of item, this method will return an average item price of the item as int. Okay, so it's want to return int, so here instead of void, just like int. And here what I will do, so if count is greater than equal to 0, then what I will do, I just average equal to this, and basically total price is a double value. Okay, so this is a double value, and if you means of any perform any operation in double, so it must be double, so you have to convert this double to int. Okay, so here just write typecast it as a int. Okay, because we want to send it as a int, and then if this one, so then do this part and then return, this avg average values. Okay, so this is basically very simple concept. So while we are doing the average, so you just add all the values and divide how many count is there. So by same thing we just do the average any number. So this is basically done. Then the next one, okay, so this implementation is done. Then next one, for the next what it is, the search item by name methods. Okay, so this method will take a string parameter of the array object parameter, and this method will return an item object array in ascending order of their item id. Okay, so it will basically return the item array. Okay, and for the array of item object whose item name attribute matches with the parameter, so these two you have to pass as a parameter. So here do the same thing. It will take this one and string, instead of item id it should be item name. Okay, so this is item name, this one. So these two parameter it will take, and then what I'll do inside this method. Okay, so inside this method what I have to do, here you have to first check. Okay, so here first you have to check, what you have to check. So this item array also contain 4 item objects. So for that, to iterate 4 times, if we try to means access all the 4 objects, so I have to iterate a for loop 4 times. Okay, so int I equal to 0, I equal to 0, I less than 4, and I plus plus. Okay, and inside this for loop what I will be do, first my first task is to check if the whatever item name I have passed and whatever item name inside the array both are same or not. Okay, if they are same I will do some operation. So first what I am checking, if this item array coffee, if this item array I dot get name, so this get name dot equal ignore case. So here also I am using the same equal ignore case, and then checking with this item id whatever I have passed. If it is containing the same values, then what I'll do, I just means try to move that object into the beginning location. Okay, so beginning, for that, here I am just int count equal to 0, because I have to sorting this array. Okay, so for that, what first I am checking the if the item id item name and whatever the values it may containing the item array. Okay, if both are same, then what I will do, in the beginning location means 0th location I will shift that object. Okay, so for that what I will do, this item array dot count, and I am incrementing the values count plus plus equal to this item array I. So these array is containing 4 values. Okay, this item array is containing 4 item object, and if there is suppose 2 object match, so that 2 object I will keep in the 0th location and 1 first location. If there is a three matches, then 0, 1 and 2. Okay, and if there is 4 matches, then there would be no changes basically. So based on that I am doing. So this count also means keep a track that how many object is matched. Okay, so this count also means keep a track of that number. Okay, now what I will do here, I just declare another item array. So item array, and I am giving the new item array, new item array, and I am assigning the value as name. Initial, I am just means declaring, not instantiating or not initializing anything, just initializing with null value and declaring an array. Okay, another item array. Now after this for loop I will check if count greater than 0. That means there is a obvious, means it found some matches. Okay, if count greater than 0, then what I will do, if count greater than 0, that means there is some matches, okay, of item name. There is at least one item found that we means the same matches, means this item name and the item in this item array object array, so these are the same, so one match found. So if this is the situation, then what I will do, I will create and I will initialize this array. Okay, new item array. If it's, then I am doing creating the array, new item array equal to new item, and here passing the values as count. So suppose there is a two matches, then I will create a array of size 2. That's why here I am only declaring and here I am defining the size of that array. Okay, so if two matches, then I will create an array of size 2. If three matches, then I will create an array of 3, size 3. Okay, that's it. And this is done. Now I have to sort this array. Okay, so how I will sort? So for that I have to use two loops. One is inner loop and one is outer loop, and I will simply do the bubble sort. So for, because I have to store, here you can see that object whose attribute name matches with the string parameters, parameter is not, then method will null. Not to object is the above mentioned static method called from the main method. Okay. Parameter, the method will return item object array in ascending order of their item id. Okay, so you have to sort in ascending order of item id. So for that, int I equal to 0, I less than count, because now how much count value is, means that many matches I have and that many object I have, means I have to work on that object only. If there is a two matches, then two, with these two object you have to sort the arrays. Okay, and I plus plus. Okay, and inside this for loop I am writing another inner loop. Okay, another inner loop. So for int j equal to 0, j less than, okay, so this will start not from 0, this will start from I. Okay, j less than count, last value should be same, means how many time it will iterate, it will iterate the, means how many items you have, that time it will iterate. Okay, and it will, starting is different, I will explain you how it will go. Now I am giving item one, creating one reference of the item object, item and temp body. So I have to swap. So for swap I am referring, means creating one temp object. And now if, what I will check, if this item array, okay, this item array, oh, sorry, here just copying this, I have to just means use the item id, means you have to order based on the item id. So this ith, whatever in ith location dot get item id, if this is greater than that, greater than in jth position item id. Okay, j dot get item id, get item id, j dot get item. If it's greater than, then we have to swap. Okay, so what I am checking, basically from 0th location I will check all the others, rest of the locations item id values. If it's greater than, then you have to swap, because first one should be less or smallest one. So if it is greater than, then I will swap. So how will swap? I will first in temp I have keep the copies of item object I. Okay, this item, sorry, item array I, then inside the itemId I will keep the jth location, and then in jth location what I'll keep the item. Okay, so this is the basically simple process. So what I am doing, suppose I have a two variables. So first variable value I am first keep in a third variable x, suppose. Okay, and then item from item 1 I copy the value from item 2 to item 1, then item sorry, item 1 value in a temporary variable, then copy the item 2 to item 1, and then item 2 in item 2 I am copying the temporary variables value. That's it. So this is the concept of swapping. So after that, so based on the value, so every iteration of the outer loop it will sort one values. Okay, so and that sorted value I will copy inside here. So this is the outer loop basically. So new item array. Inside this new item array, I'll copy that item array. So after every inner loop, every inner loop, the first position means the first position of the means ith position, not the first position. So I basically I is 0 while I equal to 0. So after first iteration of the inner loop, this ith position value would be sorted. Okay, then the if 1 first means while I value is 1, then in the completion of this inner loop the first position means 1th position value should be sorted, and that value I am keep in this new array, new item array, whatever I have created here, new item array. Okay, and after all the iteration of this inner and outer loop completion, so this array would be means in this array we will contain all the sorted item values which have this item name and sorted with the item id, this item id. Okay, so I will return this value from here. So I am just return this new this array from this method, and here for that I just keep it as a void. So here I have to write that item. So this will return one item array. Okay, now inside the main method, so if you go here, that have a mention method, this method, this. Okay, so for main method you have to call this. Okay, and the main method should print the average item price of the item as if it is return value is greater than 0. So here inside the main method, this is your main method, so here I will call these values. Okay, these methods. So here I am checking if this method means whatever the return of this method, whatever this the value it will return this method. Okay, so if it's equal to 0, it will take two. One is the item array and one is the first one is the item array and second one is the item type. So these two value I am passing from the main method, and this method will return one integer value. So if it's equal to 0, if it's equal to 0, then what I will print, okay, system.out.println. So then what I will print, the print message is there. So if it's 0, then or it should print there are no item with given type, no item with given type. So that is here, and if it's giving any other values, okay, here you can see find out the main method should print the average item price of the item as it is if the return value is greater than zeros. Okay, if it is 0, then it will print this message. If it's greater than 0, then else what I will print, sorry, what will print? The return type of this method, system.out.println, and I just call this method once again from here, and this method will return whatever the value it will return, it will print here. Okay, so this is the calling of the first method. And for the second method, if you see here, this is for the first method. The search, this main method should print the item ID from the returned item object array if the return value is not null. If the return value is null, then it should print this message. So for calling the second method, here you have to define one item array. Okay, so item, I am defining one item array, item, and then giving the name as same item array, or item equal to, I am calling this method. The method name is this. So it will basically return, this is the method name. So I am just this, and here remove this. And item. Okay. So this is basically I am defining one item array, and whatever the return type. So basically this method will return an item array. So that item array I am storing in this item, defining one item array and storing it on that item. And now I will check if this item equal to null, then I will print that message. If it is null, then I will print this message. Here you can see the message is, there are no item with the given name. There are no item with the given name. Okay. And if it is not null, then else what I will do, else I have to use one for loop. Okay. So for int I equal to 0, I less than item dot length, because I don't know the size of this array. Okay, so I'm just calling the length method, and you how much the length method, till that I will iterate the array and I plus plus. Okay, and inside this for loop I have to print the id. Okay, so item I dot get item id, so that item id I have to print. Okay, so that is the whole code, okay, of this assignment. And now I am trying to run this application. So run as a Java application, and here is your input set. So I'm copying the input set from here, just copy and paste. Copying from here and pasting. So here you can see output is 866. Here you can see 866, 1001 and 1002, and 866, 1001 and 1002. So output is perfect. Okay, and now if you okay, so I am copying this. Okay, so here I am just pasting the output, and if I change the output from, suppose I'm going to jump on 1, and if you run this once again, if I run this code once again and it's a 1, then here you can see there are no items with the given name. So this message is printing perfectly because there is no gulab jump 1. Okay, so whatever input set you have, So there is no. Okay, so before that I will just explaining how it works. Okay, so here average price. So here what I am passing suite. So how many suite is there? Suite, this three suite is there. So for first case there is a four set. This is one set, this 800 till 800, this is the first set. From these to 700, this is the second, and from here to here, this is the third set, and from Mugdal to this sorry, this 1004 to 750, this is the fourth set. Okay, so four set of values. So I am passing suite as a parameter. So how much suite is there? There is a three suites. Okay, so I am calculating the average price. So price is 800, then 700, so it is a 1500, and then the for this suite it's a 1100. So 15 and 11, 26. Okay, 26 divided by 3, so it's how much? 26. Here you can see we have passed. So 26 divided by 3. 26 divided by 3, 8.6, okay, so this is the average, and then the price, then it will print. Okay, so this is fine, 866. Okay, so as it I have taken the integer, so it will take 866, then rest of the part it will not. So basically it's not 26, 23, 2600 and 2600 divided by 3, so it's 866. It will take and omit the point part. Okay. And then for the next one, what I passed the gulab jam. So there is how many gulab jam? So this is gulab jam 1. I change it. So how many gulab jam is there? There is a 2 gulab jam. One is the 1002 and 1001. So this is the ID basically. So if you sort the IDs, then you will get 1001 first and then 1002. So that ID is printed. Okay, so this is the first output 1001, and if I change the input set, so here you can see instead of gulab jam I change the gulab jam 1. So there is no gulab jam 1, no match, so that's why it's giving that there are no item with the given name. Okay, now if you change the first one, sweet to sweet 1, okay, so then what it will give the output. So here you can see, if you again run it, okay, again run it. So here you can see there are no item with the given types, because first one is not matched, second one is I already changed the gulab jam, so that's why it's giving the first message, error message, there are no item with the given type. Okay, so it's clear. So I am explaining the code once again. So here first what I will do, I just create two class. One is the solution and one is the item class. In item class there is a 4 variables basically. Okay, whatever attribute. So I all means just set use means create the setter and getter methods of all these attributes and create a constructor. Okay, constructor, and this constructor will call while we are creating the object of this item class. Okay, now inside the main method what I did, I using the scanner class I read the 4 set of values. Okay, and for every set I create one item object and stored in a item array. Okay, and then I read the values of the item type and item name. Okay, and then call these two methods. Okay, based on this input set I pass the array, what this item array, and the for first case I for the first method I send the item type as a parameter, and for the second one I send the item name as a parameter. Okay, and then the implementation, if you see the implementation of this method what it will do, it's first check if whatever item object is there inside the item array, if it's equal to the means if the item type of that object and whatever type we have passed, if it's matched, then we just increase means add the price values and then divide means count the values means how many matches is there, and if it's greater than 0, that means there is a match, then I just divide that values and returning the average values. That calculating the average, simple. And for the second one, second method, if you see for the second method here I passed the item array and the item name, string item name. And if it's again here also we checked if this item name and whatever the item object inside the item array, if it's matched, then I just increase the count values. Okay, and after that I sorting the this array, okay, based on the item name, whatever it's matched, based on that I am sorting the array. Okay, and if it's matched, then I will store those item object in a separate arrays. Okay, and then I just with those values where it is matched is present, and based on the item id I sort the arrays. Okay, and store in a new, creating one new array and storing the all the item object into the new array and returning that new array. Okay. And here inside the main method I just call these two methods. Here you can see I just call these two methods. For the first method, if its return value is 0, then there is no matches, and if it's not, then whatever the average value, it's simply print that message, that average value. And for the second method, whatever array it is returning, I store that array in this new item array, and I am checking if it's a null, then I am printing this error message. Okay, there are no item with the given name, and if it is not, then I am just iterating how the size of the array. Till that I am iterating a for loop and print all the item id, and you means as I sort the array based on the item id, so it's print in a ascending order basically. Okay, based on the item id ascending order, whatever it is inside the this array, it's printing. Okay, so that's it. I guess you understand this assessment. Okay, so in my channel you can see all the previous TCS Proctored OPA online proctored assessment is there. So if you not watch, you can go there and watch your what is you want to watch, that you can see. And also all the Java related topics you can see: code Java, advanced Java, and some website design, means how to design websites. That related topic I also covered, and in future I will cover more topics. Okay, so if you not subscribe my channel, you can subscribe my channel. Okay, and if you like my channels, you can share with your friends. Okay, and also like these videos. Okay, thanks for watching this video.